I know I got some. If y'all was dancing to the music, I saw y'all. Y'all know music, so I know that beat was. You know who did that, Lola? Craig. That's Craig.
Craig fire. Craig, shout out to Craig Mizell.
Yeah.
Craig is fire. Craig always.
I'm gonna have to sample that.
Yeah. Well, we got y'all make some money off you then because we got it copywritten on YouTube. You know how this music game go now, sir. Y'all check in. I know it's more than Alicia out there. Y'all check in. Say hello.
What? Yeah, they kind of quiet.
There's 60 people on here. Yeah, it's 60 people on here on all the platforms. There y'all go. Come on, Lola, do your thing.
Greetings. It's Saturday night, and I'm feeling right. You know, I've had me a green tea this evening. Just to, perk up a little bit,
Green tea don't make you talk like that. It was more than green tea.
You got to know about the green tea. If you know about the green tea, everybody raise your hand. Tonight we have back my friends, Mr. and Mrs. Swifty McVeigh, aka Big Swift. And my girl, my sis TT, you know what? So many times, actually, since March the 8th, we've been doing this show every Saturday. And it's always myself, Greg, and some other singles. And we talk about love, we talk about relationships, and we try to provide insight on how to get a man and how to get a woman and how to keep one. And there's been times when we've had little slick comments where people will be like, y'all need some married folks on there. If y'all know so much, why y'all ain't in a relationship? Why you ain't got no husband? Why you ain't got no wife? Y'all need some married folk on there. I said, okay. So I reached out to some people that I know. And I was telling TT a while ago, is that I'm one to watch. I've known TT for, it's probably about a year. Just less than a year or about a year. Yeah, coming up on a year and some change. And I'm one to watch people. I'm a people watcher. Like, I love and I thrive off of watching people. And I've been able to sit back and observe and watch these two love on each other from a sincere place. Like, that's his boo. Like, TT is his boo. That's his girl. That's his woman. Like, that's his bae. But that's her king.
Yes.
That's her man. That's her NIGGA. Like, she will crack your head to the white meat over that one right there. Like, she not playing when it comes to her. But the love that they have is so impressive. And I've been able to sit back and watch it. And I'm like, you know what? I know the perfect couple to invite to this platform to talk about their love story, to talk about love and marriage, to talk about relationship, and just to keep it real, because something else is that they're not pretentious people. This Swifty McVeigh, if you don't know, Swifty McVeigh is from D12. If y'all don't know who D12 is, y'all know Eminem, and then Eminem had a group of rappers, D12. Come on now, they know it all over the world. It's not a local thing. This is a global thing.
Yeah.
Okay. He could be very much an arrogant, pompous, but I don't know, his spirit is so meek and mild and just, he's so chill. And she's so chill because both of them are accomplished in their own right, but they support each other and they hold each other down. So tonight we have Mr. and Mrs. Swifty McVeigh, TT and Swift, and Greg.
Let me do this, Lola, before you go further and get started. Everybody, if you would just invite and share, y'all know how we do, invite and share, and just put in the comments that you've shared this conversation. And it's very key that we have a married couple, because you could say, well, I'm single, I don't need to hear that. No, you need to hear them more than you need to hear anybody else, because then you know the pitfalls and everything that goes along with it. And I'm sure we're going to get more into conversation. We learn how they met and all that. So we want to get into some subjects and things. Thank you, Mika, for sharing. Just a few more of you, if you would share. Welcome those of you that are on YouTube, those of you, Alicia, holding down YouTube, those of you that are on Periscope, Facebook, and the like. Let's share and let somebody know about it. Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. And I want to say what's up to my brother Marcus Divine that's on Facebook. And I also want to give a shout out to Designs by Lola George. I'm rocking my I'm Blessed
That's dope.
tonight
I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
with my shoulder cut out. I cut my little neck out just in case I want to be a little risque, but I'm going to put it up.
You should send Uncle Charlie one of them. He got that song. I'm blessed.
I know, right?
Yeah, that's nice.
And I know the people that can get it right to him. I have to get to.
Oh, you sure do. That's absolutely.
Yeah, I get to holler at my people.
Yeah, no, yeah. You let him wear that one time. I actually want one of them. That's nice. Yeah. I want to wear one of them when I'm taping my sermon.
Yeah. I got you, honey. I'm telling
you. I want a hoodie though.
It's nothing. Ooh. It's nothing. It's nothing. We're blowing up.
She's feeling good tonight, y'all. Let me tell you something. I know this thing right here, and I know when she's an extra bubbly. She extra bubbly tonight. I know where she done been.
Oh, let's go, Lola.
I had to get myself together.
COVID-19 drove her there.
COVID-19 drove me off. It didn't drove me to drive. Anyway, so I got a question for you guys, and we're going to dig deeper into your love story tonight because we're going to continue what we were talking about last week. But before we go there, every Friday night, Ready for Love. That's a show that comes on, I think it's OWN. It's a Will Packard production. And nephew Tommy from the Steve Harvey Morning Show, he's actually the host of the show. And it's called Ready for Love. And they have probably 10 men, 10 women who are finally ready for love. They put them in a secluded resort somewhere where they get an opportunity to, where they get an opportunity to really try the essence of getting to know someone without distraction and really build pure connections. So last week's episode, and then every week, 2 people are possibly sent home if they're not like really connecting with people, right? Okay. So last week or yesterday's episode, the young lady that was sent home for 2 reasons. Number one, she shared a connection with a young man. And he was a radio personality and she owned a salon. And up until this particular episode, they had invited her friends to come in to kind of meet the guy that she had been spending all of this time with so they can kind of get a feel of the young man. And so her friend poses a question. And the question was, if you were married, and I don't want you guys to answer this because I'm not digging into your business, but we're just going to talk broad scope conversation. Okay. If you were married, how would the household finances go? And his answer was, well, we will kind of do things 50-50. We'll split the mortgage 50-50. We'll split the lights, gas, utilities 50-50. We'll split the car notes 50-50. And honey's sister girl was like, 50? Oh, hell no. And so this wonderful connection that they had for weeks up until this point when that question came up, when he said, we're going to split everything 50-50. Now, part of him, when they showed him later, he was rather nervous because he's meeting her friend, someone that has a great influence on, I guess, her decision making and, on what she's going to do. So he was kind of nervous. And so in some of the side interviews, he had said, I kind of misspoke. As a man, I think it's my responsibility to take care of the mortgage and the home. But, we would be able to share some of the responsibilities in the home. But he had already made the mistake of saying that we would share the mortgage 50-50. So now she like, I ain't about to be with no man where I got to share the mortgage 50-50. Like, I'm not doing that. Like, he's supposed to be taking care of me. And so she just automatically cuts him off. Oh, wow. Then she starts talking to another guy. And of course, he's saying the right things because he's heard what the whole issue was. Right. But she ends up getting let go from the show. They end up telling her she's not ready for love. And in the midst of them telling her some of her personal feedback on her persona, her aura, and her character, her attitude was deplorable, just to keep it real. Her attitude was just, it was kind of stained. And I'll often say that there's nothing wrong with being confident. I think every living human being should be confident in who they are. I think that there should be a boldness about your approach, your walk. I think when you walk in a room, people should know that you're there. So there's nothing wrong with a person's confidence. Now, confidence and arrogance, there's a fine line between confidence and arrogance. To me, arrogance is when your confidence make other people feel uncomfortable and you belittle other people, or you begin to think other people are beneath you because of maybe your financial status, maybe your professional status, or whatever you think you have going on that could make you feel as if you're better than somebody else. And I just don't feel any person alive is better than me. We're all the same. We may all have different blessings, but no one is better than anybody. So because of that, they shifted her from the show. They kicked her off the show. So my question is, when does your confidence become an issue? Or has that ever been a thing for you where someone has mistaken your confidence for arrogance?
Let me say first, and then they can chime in. That's the easy one for me. I think when it's borderline arrogance. Confidence can turn into borderline arrogance, and I think sometimes we don't notice. It's one thing to be confident about who you are, but then it's another to be arrogant about who you are. And so I think when you step over that line of arrogance, then you should be put off everywhere. And I've 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 said hello to some women that look like they were confident, but when they opened their mouth, arrogance came out. So you have to be careful that, and it's usually people that have that it's not natural, it's false confidence. You try to be overly confident, but you're really arrogant. And so I just think that you have to be careful. There's nothing sexier, more appealing than a woman who has confidence. Me and Lola told our story how we met. I met her at Hudson Cafe, one of our restaurants here, and she walked in here with her confidence, and it was not arrogance. Because once she started talking, she was just like regular. Lola gonna fill the room up now. Okay, she is. I mean, and she wears these heels, and she's tall already, and she got a nice little trunk, nice little trunk, and all that. She gonna show it. And so when she opened her mouth, it was just confidence. It wasn't arrogance. So I think you ladies or men, you have to be careful on not to take your confidence too far, and you might be sitting by yourself when it turns into arrogance. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. I think you hit that right on the nose, man. I mean, that's enough said right there.
I could almost imagine the four of us, like my sister TT, when she walk in the room, she there. She has a brightness about herself, right? Like, oh, there's a TT. She has this aura and this energy about herself. I've been told that I have this thing, and
you're the general.
Yeah, they call me the general. That's right. There's this. I just feel truly that humility will take you anywhere you want to go in life.
I agree.
No matter what God has done for you, no matter how you're blessed, not trying to be super deep, but humility will open up doors character won't.
Yeah.
Woo, that's a thing. That's a word.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree.
Humility will open up doors that character won't, or your gift.
Go ahead. No, so I have a new book that's coming out. I just sent it to the publisher, and it's about Ruth. And I don't mean to get deep spiritually, but I'm using this as a metaphor. Ruth met Boaz, and the next night she was laying at his feet, not at his head. And what that showed was her humility with her man. That's good. Just said
That's good.
y'all, y'all, get- y'all get
let
ready to
me
get y'all get ready to get the books. That was a customary thing of humility. And watch this. When you're gonna love this, Swift. When she laid at his feet, she covered him, which signified that she had him covered. It's like, usually we talk about the man wanting to, woman want a man that's gonna cover her. Well, let me tell you something. So and I know you agree with me, we want a woman that's gonna cover us too. It works both ways. And so she covered his feet, which was customary. She could have just left him wide open, but she showed her humility and not wanted to be in the posture of his head, but at his feet.
Yeah.
And that there, I think people, because I have a sister on here that's an alpha female with me. That's this alpha sitting next to this king now. This is an alpha right here.
That's true.
But
That's
she don't show that. She don't even show that in her body language with him, or none of that.
Right. And the key to out, because I want to talk to my sisters, and I want to talk to them, because in watching what I watched yesterday, the lady was attractive. She was physically fit in the manner in which guys are attracted to. But I tell people, I don't care how beautiful you are on the outside, ugly is to the bone.
Yeah.
You can have all of the physical attributes that a person is attracted to, but if that attitude ain't right, it closes every door to every opportunity and possibility that could be in your future and in your destiny, because your attitude is like, we have to check our attitudes. Because it's okay to feel good about yourself. Because I swear to God, when I tell you, I promise you, when he made me, he made one of the finest. But I'm conscious enough to know he made some other fine china out here too. I'm not the only one. And so I salute other queens. I empower other queens. I want other queens to feel that queendom, but we have to support each other. But ladies, our attitudes. TT, have you ever experienced in your work life, or in your work life, in your professional, and on your other side, the TT world, and then your other world, where people, they can't handle your light?
Yeah. And it's crazy that you say that, because how can I say it? I used to be afraid to shine.
Yeah.
Afraid to shine. And I'm always and Lola, you've been around me, I'm always in that part of the life, the TT part. God has blessed me with a lot of different gifts.
Yeah.
One of my gifts is having a servant's heart.
Yeah.
So one of my gifts is serving. And so I come in, I assess, I always make jokes with Super, say I'm the Olivia Pope of the industry on that level. I get it, I'm gonna fix it. I'll figure out how to fix it. We not stressing, and when I walk out, I wasn't a lifetime special.
But guys are offspring.
Yes, come on now. But yeah, I have suppressed who I was because I didn't want people to think what you're saying, that, oh, she arrogant. I knew I was confident, but it took me a long time to become confident, because as I learned, I was watching other people, and some of the people you're like the lady you referenced that was on the show, I would have looked at that person like, oh, okay, she confident, because I was confused on what was confidence versus arrogance. I know I didn't like arrogant people, and I never wanted to look like that. So I'll always say things. If I'm getting ready to say something that might come off, I say, and I say this with all humbleness. Like if I feel like I know what I'm doing, I say this humbly. Or, I'm careful not to step on people's toes, but I've seen people, and there's a scripture, and I'm sure you can help me with it. I don't really know it off the top of my head, but some of the same people who spoke against my name or tried to defame me, as they would say, I thank God for my character. I thank God for the spirit and the light that's on me, because people knew me and said, no, that doesn't sound like TT.
That ain't TT.
And I thank God for that because I'm like, what? No, what? And so it was like when they said it, I already knew no. Them same type of people would come back and be the same people that would bless me. And I'm thinking to myself, like, and then I had to know, I said, okay, God turned that thing around and made you be the very blessing to me, and you don't even realize it.
Yeah.
Like, you can't even help yourself from being a blessing to me because that's the divine order in which we walk in. So,
Good stuff. Good stuff.
okay, high five.
Let me share a story. Story time. So this is my brother right here, right? That's my brother right there.
Yes.
And he's seen my professional peaks and valleys, my journey in my professional career. And I remember him saying to me, he called me one day and he was like, I need you, you gonna get fired. They're gonna fire. I hate to say it like this, but he called me like, they're gonna fire you. And I'm like, what? Yeah. They gonna fire you. You're gonna lose your job. And when he first told me that, because he doesn't necessarily have enough coddling in his spirit, he's a kind of straight shooter with no chaser.
I have no proof. None. Listen. Wait a minute. Just put a pin. Don't go. You ain't gonna. It ain't no in between. You either gonna like me or not, and either way is fine with me, because I just think it's so many people that don't speak their mind, and I believe a woman wants a man that's gonna be. So yeah, I was like, hey, they're gonna fire you.
And it's funny that I can share this story and tell the story and laugh about it because TT, it speaks to what you're saying. I was working somewhere in the public's view, and so there. And at the time I was working there, I was doing television, and we're before 80 plus million people, 6 days a week, every day live at 5 o'clock. And I run from my job, go do the live taping, and then the very next day I'm back at work like, hey, how you doing? And me, I'm just just so happy-go-lucky. Who I am all the time is who I will always be. I ain't gonna never shift and change. Because now what I will say is that I'm funny acting. I ain't for everybody. Mm-hmm. Who I rock with, I rock with. Who I don't rock with, it ain't no secret. I don't rock with you. And I'm a cut dry that way, but for the most part, I got love for everybody. So he says to me, "You're gonna lose your job," but I'm like, "What you mean you gonna lose your job?" Now, that's what he said, and I don't even think it was 2 months later that I lost my job. I was a contractor, and the person that was responsible for renewing my contract had an ought against me. And I say this with the most sense of humility that I can possibly say this. And there will be people on this line that understand what I'm getting ready to say. She hated me because she wasn't me.
Oh.
And what I mean by that, there's people that will look at your life and be envious and jealous of your boldness, your ability to live out your dreams, your ability to do multiple things. It's things that they've wanted to do, and they didn't have the people to cheer them on and say, hey, you can do this, you can do that, or you're not doing enough. And so when they see you doing multiple things, they become envious of it, or they'll feel you don't need to be doing this if you're doing that over there. So I was a contractor, and my contract didn't get renewed. And I was like, wow, okay, cool. And that year, we went to Essence Fest. So I got laid off June 30th, and Essence Fest was like the next week. And so we go to Essence Fest, and I'm living La Vida Loca, But then my contract ended up getting renewed. Mm. But when I came back, I no longer report to you. Now you're my peer. Now we're peers. Mm. He said, I'll prepare us a table in the presence of what?
Our enemies.
Enemies. He also said he'll make your enemies your what? Footstools. Huh?
Come
Huh?
on now, come on
That's
now.
word. I didn't put none of that stuff in that book, but it's there. That's what the Bible says. Now,
That's
I
right.
share that because I could have harbored a resentment or I could have had a negative attitude, but God will use the very people that try to destroy you because your light becomes too bright for some people to take. And this is why I say I'm not for everybody.
Yeah.
You're not for everybody. And I struggled. I went through a period of life where I was like, I wanted to dim my light because it shines too bright. Like I'm too much. I could be too much for people. And I remember God telling me, and this is for somebody that's listening because I ain't the only person on here with light. It's a lot of people that's watching us tonight. Y'all got the light. You got the limelight. You have the light. And you're trying to get comfortable with your light. You're trying to accept your light because your light makes other people uncomfortable. But God told me, I didn't give you your light to dim it.
That's the word.
I gave it to you because you could handle it. It is your duty, job, and responsibility to empower, enlighten, and encourage other people.
That's right.
When you have the light, what are you doing with it?
And what that book say in the book? Let your light what?
Shine.
So shine, huh?
Okay.
That's in there. That's in there. And so I had to learn to get, like you said, TT, I had to learn to get comfortable with my presence and my energy and the ability to illuminate a room. Because like you said, it can be overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be too much.
Yeah.
You don't. I never want to make anybody feel uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
But I had to learn how to manage and control it.
Yeah.
One thing I heard every day when I woke up and was talking to my dad, or if I call my daddy right now, he say, "Hey, beautiful. Hey, baby girl." Which means he always. So when I talk, I'm like, "Hey, beautiful. How y'all do?" You know, pour into people so that they can get comfortable with your life. Because whenever you look at the sun, think about it. The sun is too bright for man to handle.
That's right.
The sun never adjusts itself so you can handle it.
That's right.
We make adjustments to handle the sun. So we wear sunglasses. Like people will make adjustments to handle you, but you have to just present yourself in a manner that can digest it and take it in.
Come on now. What's the word?
Honey, I've been through this thing 3 times where professionally, because that wasn't the last time he told me I was gonna get fired.
Oh, God.
Am I telling the truth?
No, that wasn't the last time.
Oh my God.
He told me again.
Wow.
Or you gonna get fired.
And what happened?
And I got fired. What? No. I didn't get fired. I didn't get fired. I got suspended.
Oh, okay.
I got somebody on my thing said, don't tell it all. Okay, I ain't gonna tell it all, but I'm gonna tell some of it. I got suspended for accusations that are horrendous. And I can share this because this is my story. But if you know me, you know these accusations are horrendous. I was suspended for threatening, intimidating, harassing, and discriminating against employees.
What? Really?
When I'm the person that take up for the underdog.
That's right.
I'm the person that fights the battle for the person with no voice. I will go toe to toe with anybody to fight for the underdog, or like I hate a bully. So if I see you bullying somebody, I'm the person that's gonna go and deal with the bully on such and such behalf. Yeah. So is this a true story, YOLO? So that's on my Facebook. So what ended up happening, God opened up another door that no man could close and elevated me yet again.
Uh-huh.
So I'm sharing my stories because we're in the midst of a pandemic. The way we work has changed. Some of us are working from home. Some of us are dealing with all manner of things in the workplace, on the job. And you're trying to figure out, Lord, what am I going to do? Lord, what am I going to do? Let me tell you something. Everything is still in divine order. You're looking at someone that the man of God said twice, you're going to get fired.
Yeah.
One contract wasn't renewed. The second one, I was able to leave because God opened up doors that no man can close. When God opened up a door, no man can close it. So I'm telling you all, do your part. Keep a positive attitude. Treat everybody with love and respect, and your future will always, 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 always be bright.
What one of the things I want to say right quick on that piece, and this is more so for the singles on your confidence and your arrogance. Ladies, I understand, guys try to talk to you and they may not be the so if you've been out of the game for a while, so but yeah, I'm a Starbucks fan. Before the pandemic, like 7 days a week.
We will sit in Starbucks downtown.
I sit in Starbucks by the window. They had a table for me. And literally, when they put all the tables up during the holiday festivities, they leave my table out. That's Bishop's table. And so that's my family. And I still go in there and see them and grab my drink and keep going. But the thing about it is, I would see men in there speaking to women, confident type women. But it went to arrogance because, and these were some good brothers. The women would be like nasty, like not speaking and all that. The thing about it is, first of all, just because a person is not dressed like you, think they should be some of the greatest millionaires.
Huh?
Let's say Bill Gates. Let's say the Facebook boy. Let's say all these men, they wear blue jeans and a t-shirt, and some of them drive old pickup trucks.
Mm-hmm.
Not because they have to, because they want to. When you get a lot of money, you do things because you want to. You ain't nothing you gotta have to.
Right.
All right. And so ladies, be careful of that arrogance, because what you prayed for and what you have written down could be the right one in another outfit.
In a different package.
Thank you, Lola. Sometimes I write words. Right, that was good though. In a different package. And some of that stuff that got beautiful package, you unpackage it and it's a gag gift.
Yeah, you don't want it.
It's a gag gift. You don't want it. So everything that everything that shines, everything that glitters is not a light. So let me just say, be nice to everybody. It don't take nothing. And I watch sometimes the brothers when they do them like that. I got one brother in there. His name is Ron. Ron don't play. He gonna call her every name that start with which without a W, and you add the B and carry the.
Yeah, we don't talk like that over here now.
I'll be Ron. No. But then there was a couple that did that. I was like, I'm gonna turn my head while you say it. No, seriously, because that's how they was acting.
Yeah.
You don't have to reject the man by being nasty.
That's right. That's right.
Be a lady in all that you do. You don't get down to their level. And then the man, after you done messed up his ego, Swift, he'd be like, you wasn't that fine anyway.
I need to tell them the best way to let a man down easy, and y'all let me know if this is good, because this is what I've been using. Like when you out and they try to approach you, and you tell them, "Oh my God, I'm so honored, I'm flattered," but he wouldn't like that. And they'd be like, "Ooh," I'd be like, "My man, he would not appreciate if I gave you my."
Well, you don't know what to say that to some of the brothers I know. They'd be like, "I ain't trying to talk to him."
And that's what they say, and that's what they'll say. That's like their comeback. I ain't trying to talk to him. I'm like, but if I did that to him, then don't you think I'll do that to you?
The next one is, you want the next line?
Yeah, help.
I'm just looking for a friend. You want a friend?
I'd be like, I got too many friends. I can't do it, but I'm flattered.
Ain't no friend like me.
They be saying, I'd be like,
guess what? Hey, Lola, I'm saying all this stuff back to you right now. I don't say none of that.
I won't say a mumbling word. Nothing. All this mumbling he doing. Let him get in front of a real woman. He's sitting there all milly mouth. Scared.
That's why I'm single now.
That's why you're single now. Closed mouths don't get fed. Okay, so I got a question for the couple. So we're talking about arrogance, confidence, big personalities. Swift, you're an entertainer. TT, you're an entertainer. So both of you were in entertainment. last week, if this is your first time joining the conversation, last week they were on the show last week, and they shared their story of how they met. Swifty McVeigh, I don't know if you've heard, but he is a rapper from the legendary group D12. And TT, she was a dancer at the time, not a stripper. So let's get this out. But she was a performance dancer. She did dancing videos and different stuff like that professionally. And that's when they kind of met each other. At the time that they met, initially, he was married. And but they waited. He got divorced. And 5 years after they divorced is when they actually came together, got married, and started their relationship. But during the time when you guys were courting and dating, what was one of the most attractive things about her, or what set her apart from the other women that were vying for your time and attention?
Her mind and spirit. I was attracted to her spirit. Yeah. Her spirit moved me in a way to where, it made me, it drew me to her. It made me want to be around her more. I was uplifted. I was motivated. I was laughing. It was just a lot of things about her spirit that attracted me to her. So her mind and her spirit, and we was connected because we're similar in a sense. And the more I realized how similar we was and how much our spirits was alike, the more I drew towards her. Yep. So it was a spiritual thing, a spiritual connection. I think that's a real deep thing to have. A spiritual connection is a beautiful thing to have. That makes everything complete. It's not so much going to church together or listening to a preacher together, but just the essence of who you are connecting is just one beautiful thing. So,
I was about to say, don't y'all get that tied into religion. He's talking about we are spirits. We are spirits. We live in a body, but we have a spirit that dwells in us. So therefore, their spirits connected. So I got you, Swift. I had you. If you weren't gonna say that, I was gonna tell him, because they be talking about, see, that's what I want. I want me a church man.
No.
I'm not talking about no church man or church woman.
We ain't talking about church at all.
Ain't talking about church at all. Talking about that spirit man. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. TT, what was it about him that drew you?
It was his energy, his spirit. Like he said, when we, for those that didn't tune in last week, when we crossed paths a couple of times because of our gifts, him being a rapper, me being a hip hop dancer, and I always walked past and felt like I knew him. And so when I got to spend a little time to get to know him through our work, I realized we have so much in common. It was like we came from the same era. We grew up doing almost the same thing. We grew up a mile apart. He was in my neighborhood, I was in his neighborhood, but we didn't know each other. It was just so many. We fraternized with some of the same people, but his skills, like, people don't know, he used to be a dancer, hip hop dancer, before he was a real rapper back in the day. And so I love a man that can dance, right? I love a man that can dance. I love people that's into performing arts. And so the conversation too, it was one thing coming home and talking to someone that had no idea about the business, and they're like listening and they're supportive, or they're not, versus coming in, they're listening, supportive, and they understand. So it's just like when he talks to me, you look at me like, hey. Okay, so sorry. And so like when he comes in, he's talking about what happened in the studio, what happened on the road, I connect because I understand it. It's like a whole nother language. But then I just look at him like who he is. He's not perfect, but I've watched him grow. He has a heart after God's heart. And that's one thing I love about him. He balances me, because when I'm ready to pop off, because I can't.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then vice versa.
Oh, Lord Jesus, Holy Father, man. So, what? It takes a lot, but when he gets there, I'm like, okay. And so sometimes we have to come face to face. And that's when I was talking last week when I said, sometimes I have to say, yo, I'm not talking to you as your wife, I'm talking to you as your friend. Because he's my best friend, you know what I mean? My childhood best friend left this life a long time ago, but our friendship balances out when that spouse shift, and I know that's not a word, y'all, so don't be trying to come. When it can. Sometimes you know how some people I've heard people talk, and like I said before, I'm one of the marriage ministry leader people, believe it or not, in my church, and I'm like, sometimes you hear people saying, well, I can't talk to her because, you know, that's my wife, or I can't talk to that's my husband. What? It sounds foreign to me, because I talk back in the day, Lola, Bishop, I would tell him some stuff and my girls would be like, oh my God, why you tell him that? I'm like, I would have told you that. But he a dude. I don't care. And sometimes I do look at him when I'm telling him something, he'd be like, yeah, I'm like, that was TMI. He's like, my bad. I'm like, oh, my bad. Because I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with them.
But that's the foundation of friendship. Like, and we always say every week when we talking about relationship scenarios, you want to marry your friend, you want to marry your best friend, your mate needs to be your friend. And this is the evidence and the fruit of what we've been saying. Like, that's my best friend. There's nothing I can't go to him and talk about, and vice versa. There's nothing. I wish that you all could see what I see, because when you were talking and he had turned and looked at you, you know how you're watching the cartoons and like you look at somebody and they like all in love and how the heart eyes go. Like, it was like a perfect moment where he was looking at you and I just saw the hearts just jumping like, yeah. I love it though. I love it. Let me ask you this. What were some of the deal breakers? Or did you guys have deal breakers?
You know, I always tell her all the time that I love everything about her. I do. I know it might sound crazy, but you know, I'm pretty cool with everything that comes with her spirit. I think she might be a little over opinionated sometimes.
Yeah, he thinks that.
But it's not. But I don't look at that as a deal breaker. You know, it's just something that, you know, I know, and then we talk about it, we laugh about it because I understand. You know what I'm saying, on that level. She's a conspiracy theorist.
Yes, to the core.
But that's not a deal breaker. You know, but for the most part, I love
and a police officer.
Yeah, she was a police officer in her past life.
All right.
She's the head detective, huh?
Yeah, it's always teasing. She just has not just so much looking for things and searching for things, but this police spirit. You know.
He be coming for me all the time.
Yeah, but those aren't deal breakers. You know what I'm saying? But to answer your question, I love everything about you.
Thank you.
Did you go ahead?
No, TT, I want to go back to something, because you keep saying this, and the ladies need to listen. Listen when a lady be saying. TT kept saying when she saw him, and I'm paraphrasing, that you just knew it. You just knew that he was. I'm just paraphrasing. You knew he was the one.
Yeah, that's good to say that. I stayed away from saying that phrase because it's so,
because of the circumstances. Yeah,
absolutely.
Let's take that out of there. But you knew there was something about him.
I knew, and like I think this, and you know, people can say what they want, and I'm not holier than thou. Okay, I believe that I was for him and he was for me, and we had to live this thing called life. And we got into relationships. We had children prior to relationships because we had to learn. You know what's for you and what's not for you. I spent 10 years in a previous relationship. He had 10 years in his. But when I saw him, that energy, it was like, and like, this is my forever partner. That's my forever until one of us go the other way. And I mean, lead his life. Because I always tell him, and he don't like to talk about it, but I was like, yo, one day one of us ain't gonna be here. But you know what? While we're here, right? But it was something about his spirit. Like, he's a nice looking man.
Oh, thank you.
You know. Yep. Okay. So I'm sorry. Okay, so he's talented, he's smart, he's fun, he keep me laughing, and so it's just. The vibe is just, you can't pay for it, okay? You can't pay for it. One thing I loved about him, his humbleness. I met a lot of, just like you, Lola, I've met a lot of people in the industry that always about, well, I got this and I be doing this. And I'm like, I don't care. Like, I really don't care. But that, I don't have it. That ain't my stuff. You know what I mean? And so talking about themselves, he was a brown paper putting your money under the mattress when I met him. He didn't have a credit card. I'm like, yo, excuse me, why you walking around with knots of money? He was like, I'm a brown paper bag under the mattress type of dude. I'm like, no. I'm like, we gotta get you all the way together, brother. You need a car. Like just stop, you know. So things like that. He was just so humble, but just so like, where you been? And one amazing thing that happened one night, my sister-in-law, shout out to my sister-in-law, Redbone. She's also a rapper. And so we performed, my group at the time had started doing background dancing for her. And we were performing at Club Blue. And at this time, me and him hadn't connected. But everybody that was around us knew there was an energy and a chemistry. And like I said, he was married at that time. So I was dealing with I came in, okay, Lord. And people wanted to say what they were saying, and I didn't care, right? On the level of, you don't really know what's going on. I will tell you if you want to be all in my business, but you won't believe me if I tell you. So therefore, why waste my time? His sister stopped me in the middle of the club, the music bumping. It was like a movie. She said, hey, Titi, come here for a second. I was like, yeah, what's up? She said, where you been all my brother's life? And I'm looking at it. Cause I'm thinking like, he married, he got a whole family, and she said, now I love my sister-in-law because that's who he chose. She said, but what y'all got? Y'all playing. And she walked off, left me in the middle of the club. I'm looking at her. And I'm trying to process what she's saying to me, because I'm like, is this a setup? Like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would she say that? But I respected her. And it was just like, our groups, when we got to perform, the night was over. He was like, I'm gonna fall through later if you ain't doing nothing. I said, yeah, come on through. So I told him what she said, and he was just like, wow. My sister said that to you? I said, yeah.
Let me pause for 2 seconds. Now, had you told your sister Swift that you had a little thing for TT, or TT like?
Nope.
Ah! But let me say this. I always say this. My first job in life, when I showed up on the scene, was to be my brother's sister. So sisters have a thing where they can see what's good for their brothers and what's not good for their brothers. And so your sister saw like, yeah. Now we always respect their choices, because I tell my brothers all the time, I got 4 brothers. If you like it, I love it.
That's
but
right.
The moment you stop liking it, I don't like it either.
That's right.
And go ahead, I'll let you finish. I'll talk about my brothers later.
But it was just that, back to what Bishop said, is I think one thing I love, it wasn't forced and it was natural. We always say, what's the word you use?
Organic.
It's organic. He always tells people,
Okay.
We have this organic.
Let me take it there, because this is what I really wanted to get at. You keep saying that, and people always hit me. And Lola, I know people have asked you this. How do you know it's the right one? And I'm going to just take from what she said. You just know it. Yeah. As the old folk would say, there's just something in your Noah. Hold on, Lola. There's just something in your Noah that you know, that you know, that you know, that you know. You just feel something. And what they just said, when it's the right one, it's organic. You don't have to force it, you don't have to push it. You ain't even got to ask nothing. It'll just come up. You feel it.
You feel it in your spirit. Like week when I first saw her, I was at St. Andrews. She was on stage dancing. And if you ever been to St. Andrews and you go on the balcony, you have the stage in the far front. Yeah. And way in the back, like where the entrance to the place is, on the balcony. Here it is, 100, 200 people. I'm just,
out of everybody in the room. Yeah.
Everybody in the room behind me on this balcony. And I'm just sitting there. People are talking and moving around. And I'm watching her from the stage.
You'll cut through the crowd. Yes, sir, bro. Come on.
I couldn't see her face completely, but I seen the silhouette of her dancing. And I
silhouette.
Wow, I'm just looking. So here it is. What, 2 years later? What was that? 3 years later, when we did the Washroom Lounge, when I seen you act for the first time. It was
It was about 2 years
it was
later.
about 2 years later.
About 2 years later.
When she introduced herself, I instantly knew who she was, and I tried to understand. Why did I draw into her and remembered her like this, but I was attracted to her spirit. So when you say organically, these are things that came up to where I had to learn as time went. I had to learn myself to realize, like, wow, I was really, really drawn to her spirit. And as time went on, I said, yeah, that's exactly what it was. So it was a organic thing going on where we learned from each other as far as the things that took place when we first met.
And if you ain't had that yet, that kind of feeling, chances are they ain't the right one.
Now I got some questions over here from the smoking section.
I love it. The smoking section, I love it.
Now I had a time in my life where I walked in this room, right? And I had seen the most beautifulest thing in the world to me.
That's always for you.
No, it's not. I've
It's
only
not the same kind of story as TT's. Yours be lust and flesh. This ain't no.
It was very much lustful. That is true.
See what I mean? You trying to make TT's story your story. She had a final ending. Okay, you ain't had no final ending. You just had a feeling.
She doing her shana now.
She had a lifetime experience. Yours be just for a moment, for a second, yeah.
Oh my goodness, I can't.
Yours be one of them just to be close to you moments.
Oh my gosh.
I got one right now. I keep telling the Lord, I keep talking to the Lord like, I promise you I'll change my ways and get my life together.
See what I mean?
There's no good thing among me.
You're not gonna contaminate TT's story. All right, because then all these women on here fall off. See, that's what I'm talking about. If you don't know what you're talking about, Lola gonna lead y'all to lust hell.
Oh my goodness.
But no, because we gotta talk about that thing when you see the one, and I'm telling you, TT, now my ending may not have ended like yours, but I know that feeling is what I'm saying.
No, it ain't the same feeling. Yours ain't gonna nowhere near end like it. No.
Hey, the final chapter has
The end is destruction. For the end is the Bible says it's destruction. There is a way that seemeth right, but
right
the end is destruction. Now, let me say this too. I saw one of the brothers saying Bishop ain't interested in this at all. My sister will tell you, I can do 10 things and come right back and say everything they didn't say. So don't come for me. All right. Bishop is very interested. That's why I asked the question. So let's keep going. Let's be nice tonight. Come on.
Well, I guess you just told them I'm going to get back to my lustful ways.
Go ahead.
So there was this. I had never seen anything so beautiful in my life. Now, granted, I was younger, but it's still beautiful to me. And I remember, and I've shared this story a few times on this here show because I'm always telling the same stories over and over again. But I thought
Lord.
I just. And so so that didn't work, right? That didn't work. And then there was another time where I thought I had found the one. And they had literally just gotten divorced. They were going through a divorce and finalizing their divorce when we met. This is Ghost. You remember Ghost? Okay. So I got code names for everything in there. So and we were so smitten by one another. So smitten. And it just it caught like fire. It just took off. But me being an overthinker, I'm not the only one like this on the line. Me being an overthinker, I was thinking too much like he just got divorced. We're falling for each other. It's working. It's beautiful. But it's not fair to put this expectation of me wanting him knowing he just got divorced. So I kind of disappeared from the situation. I just fell back. I'm guilty of doing that. And we would run into each other through the years, and that same energy, that same connection would be there. And recently we ran into each other. And I had a meeting, a business luncheon, dinner, or whatever we want to call it, brunch. Yolo, I don't know if you're still here, but I was out, and I'm leaving the restaurant. I have on a mask because y'all know I'm funny acting when it comes to this virus. So I'm masked up. I had my scarf on my head because I don't want it to get in my little locks, my little curls, my jacket on. And as I'm walking out the restaurant, I look over and I see the most beautifulest thing in the world sitting right there. And I'm like, that looked familiar. But I got on the mask, and then they looking and I'm looking and they looking and I'm looking. And we realized that we know each other. That energy literally drew us to, and it was him. It was Ghost. Baby, when I say, I was like, oh my God. And all of that energy came rushing back. And we embraced one another. And I'm like, Lord, stop teasing and stop playing with me. Like, either remove him from my life completely and never allow me to run into him again. Because every time you allow me to run into him, to me, that's an open door of opportunity. How many of you in life have pursued something and you've always gotten what you want? Like, that alpha thing, or that confidence that we talked about earlier when we first started the show. We talked about confidence. We talked about being not arrogant, but confident in who you are, that boldness. When you possess that thing, you feel as if there's nothing you can't have. When you see something, you be like, yeah. And there's a patience, because you'll be like, I'll wait. Like the two of you. There was something that was there. But at the time you came together, or at the time that you met, the timing was off.
Right.
You didn't give up on the quest.
Right.
You were just like, I'll wait. Because what's coming to you and what's yours is coming, and no man can deny or stop it.
Wow.
No man can block God's blessings that's coming your way.
That's right.
And only you know that thing that's on the inside. Because like you said, y'all kept crossing each other's paths. And the energy never changed. It just got stronger and stronger and stronger.
Yeah.
And then by the time you guys were able to freely interact, there was something that was undeniable and something that was there. Was there ever a moment where you were nervous or scared about the possibilities of your future?
Yeah.
What did that look like? We're gonna save some people on here tonight that's single.
For me, growing up, I had different little boyfriends. You know how we oh yeah, it's like no. And you move it on and you do and you see and you experience. When I met him and I realized the connection, the energy, and like you said, and like I had said initially, he was married. So it's kind of like, okay, hold on, we're not doing this. We gotta play our position. I thought to myself, because I didn't know if he was gonna ever get a divorce or he was not gonna be in that union. I didn't know. I knew it wasn't healthy and functional for them, according to not only him but people. And you don't worry about what people are gonna say. You worry about what the person that's in that thing is saying. Because we can judge a book all day from outside on what it looked like, and we don't know what the story is.
Yeah.
Now, in the process of waiting and my feelings intensifying and things going on, I only got to the point of, I don't know what's going to happen after he got divorced and we were able to, like you said, freely be together and really, because it was kind of like, I didn't want to be a rebound. I didn't want to feel like, okay, well, you just got divorced and you jumping. I didn't want that thing. I'm not a trampoline. I wasn't trying to do that. And believe it or not, I can say this because I'm grown. Who gonna check me? Okay.
Hold on. Y'all heard that? She said, I'm not a trampoline. That means you ain't gonna be jumping on and off of me. That's what she said. Go ahead. I'm sorry. You ain't gonna be just jumping on me and bounce. You ain't
No,
gonna
no, we're not doing that. Now, one thing I can say is that like I said previously, I was in a relationship for 10 years, and I wasn't one of the women that's out here doing the thing. I'm here, and we went through our things. It was one of them. Hey, we're here, we're existing, and it's like that's when it was that. What are we doing here? What's happening here, right? When it was time to be with him, it was more of a this ain't this trampoline thing. And I have prayed and I told God, I said, I promise you, Lord, the next man I sleep with is gonna be my husband.
Amen. Let me write that down. Hold on. Let me take a note on that.
What he thought, because you know, the one of the most amazing gifts we have is the treasure that's between our thighs, ladies. It is.
Say that.
It is.
Preach that. Walk that line.
You can't. You gotta have a special key. You know what I mean? You have a special key, and because if you just give, you got diamonds, but you acting like a cubic zirconian, and you can't do that. You're precious, no matter what. And so for me, that was my respect for myself. And looking at him, and then I thought, like, okay, now he's divorced, and you know he was still touring and doing stuff. I said, well, he can get one of them video vixen people. He could do all these things. And I asked him, I would have them kind of conversations like, why me? You could be out here being with anybody and everybody and this and that. And he would be like, why not you? He said, it's something, he's always said this. It's what you do for my spirit. On top of all the other things, he's always said, I love everything about you. I used to always like, yeah, okay, well, boy, whatever. But he said it for the last 13 years. He's always said that same thing. And you know what I want to say? If you say it looks like a horse, walk like a horse, then you're going to start to think it might be a horse, right? So, yeah, I got to that point where I was nervous and I wasn't sure what we were doing because I didn't want to, A, be a rebound, 2, be just, oh, you're hurt, let me console you and think it's something that it's not, because I don't have time for that. That's not what I was looking for. And that's not what I wanted. I knew that the next journey that I was going to be in was going to be one that was going to be a lifelong journey. I knew that for myself.
That's good. Swift, when you all began to date and you're into this your woman, you her man. When did you realize and when did you know that this is your forever and you're happily ever after? What was it?
I knew in the back of my mind she was, but I was fighting spirits because the way she moved my spirit was so strong. It was new to me. Like, you know, I never had my spirit be so moved in a way to where things was great. Like I felt a way that I never felt before. So the spirits tried to bother me and make me feel that I wasn't good enough. I said, wow, she is great. She's a great, great woman all across the board. But dang, am I good enough? You know, maybe I might say something wrong, do something wrong, might not be the type of man she thought I was or whatever. So all these, you know, thoughts was coming into my head. But then when I went to get counseling, see, one thing I've never had marriage counseling from a pastor who made me look at things biblically as far as marriage. And once I seen things out the Bible, because I'm always a believer of the Bible, but once I seen things in that aspect, it built my confidence up to the 20th power. And I started to see things and things started to unravel and the confidence came back in the things that I knew that I had to do as a husband, which God wanted me to do. The confidence came and I seen it and I said, you know what, this is it, you know. But in the back of my mind, I always knew, but I was just struggling with my own insecurities at first. But once I got that counseling and read things in the Bible that I've never read before that pertain to how I need to be to my wife biblically, it was a wrap. I did it, you know. I just said, yo, this is it. I even got to the point where I even tattooed her name on my finger.
Yes, sir, Doc. We're gonna help y'all get y'all a mate tonight. So
because and the reason why I did it, because I said to myself, I said this is a spiritual ass thing. So I said, if we didn't make it, this symbolizes what she does to my spirit, because I knew I was gonna always be around her, we was gonna always have this connection, even if we didn't work as a couple, because the spirit connection was so strong. So, you know, but that was the thing that made me look and say, yeah, this is it. Because yeah.
So when it comes to you coming out of a marriage, the two of you are establishing a foundation. What did those expectations look like for one another? And what I mean, a lot of relationships fail because of false sense of realistic expectations. Not setting the right expectations, setting too high expectations. What did the expectations look like for the two of you? And I'm asking this because it's somebody that's watching us tonight that's battling with a decision, may not even realize that their expectations are unrealistic, or that may not be the one for you. So let's deal with expectations.
For me, I'm gonna piggyback off what you opened up this show with, when you were talking about the woman that was on the show the other night, and how, oh well, 50-50. I'm transparent, and I don't care. I came into the union thinking that. I thought, you know what, and I was okay with it. I'm like, you know what, because I was raised by my mom. She was single mama of 4, and always made it happen. I have old school values and morals that was poured into me growing up. I was, as the old people would say back in the day, I had an old soul. And so I came in thinking like it takes 2 to make a household run, and we're gonna split everything down the middle. That was my thought. He was just like, whatever you want to do. And so when I would fall short, it'd be like, oh, I'm not carrying my weight. And he'd be like, I'm your husband, so I got it. I know you're independent, but I got it. And it took a lot for me to be able to let him have it. Like, let him do that. Because
Let's stay right here.
I can't carry myself,
Let's stay right here for a second and deal with finances.
Mm-hmm.
The alpha female, listen here, ladies. The alpha female feels complete when we're able to contribute and help the household, right?
Absolutely.
We want to like you said, we want to carry our weight too.
Mm-hmm.
We want to contribute. We want to protect you from making the burden too heavy for you.
Absolutely.
It's not that we don't believe that you can do it, and it's about mindset. Let's deal with mindset. And I'm not talking to people that's shacking. This ain't a conversation for you out here shacking. This conversation for married people. We're married, and from what I've been taught, 2 becomes 1. So everything that I have belongs to you, and everything that you have belongs to me. And one of the first things women, we have to do, the alpha female, I'm talking to us, is really accept the oneness of the relationship. Meaning, we're putting everything in the pot, and everything is, regardless of the amount of bank accounts, we're putting into the pot, and it's coming from the pot to take care of this. What's mine is yours, what's yours is mine. So it's one pot that we're working from to cover this.
Mm-hmm.
If I fall short, he got my back because this is my covering. He's my covering. If he falls short, I got his back because I'm his covering.
Absolutely.
That's what that unity and that oneness is about.
Yeah.
So the first thing we have to do is be careful of the expectation and the mindset that we bring to the table about what he is supposed to do for me.
Yeah.
Because it's really about what we are supposed to do for each other.
I agree.
Yep. And it's about keeping each other covered, and also building together as well. You keeping each other covered, and you building together. I know I had a friend of mine who always I would ask him things about, in the past I would ask him things about marriage. He used to always say, well, I'm gonna go ahead, but I got to get it right. I got to get myself together. And he always said, I got to get myself together. I got to get myself together. So I just told him one day, I said, you know what? Getting yourself together is one thing, but you get married to build what you need to build together once you're in the marriage. It's not about getting yourself together to get married. It's when you love each other, you get married, and you each other help each other, cover each other, and build from there. So it's about covering each other and building together. However you can. You know what I'm saying? So that's just some advice for those who feel that they need to get themselves together before they actually step in it. You have to step in it and build from there. You know what I'm saying?
I think that comes to, once you know who you are, though, you
Yeah.
got to know who you are. At least be that far. Because if you know who you
Yeah.
are, then you can build from there. But the issue I have nowadays, the millennials and just people, not just millennials, I take that back. Never mind. They do it a lot, but they don't even know themselves, and they want to start something. At least know yourself, know your potential, know where you're going, because if you don't, it will change midair,
Yeah.
and you
And
don't
and
build a
then I was
plane
speaking
in the air.
more so of the financial aspect.
No, no, no. I wasn't talking about you. I was just taking from what you were saying. No, no, no. You were good. No, 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 no. Go
No,
ahead. But if you want to go ahead, but I was
yeah.
no, I wasn't. No, what you said was fine. Yeah, no, I was just elaborating on the point that you had made. Yeah, no, no. You're not gonna always be together financially when but at least you know where you're trying to go. Because I went through that when I got married with my ex-wife. She saw my potential and saw where I was going, and it paid off for her. She doing pretty good, even as ex. And so you gotta, they take an investment, but sometimes people be taking this risk, and people that ain't even doing nothing. You invested in something that hasn't even found out who they are. And the hardest thing is to find out who you are while you're trying to get to know each other. You're trying to find out who you are, and then you're trying to get to know the person also. So at least what I was saying is, at least be
Yeah.
that far that you know you. You don't know you. And Lola know this. This way she gonna come alive. She gonna say, "Pass the food." Let me say this. It ain't an age. Because there's some men out here that don't know that they're supposed to help you for your birthday party.
I rung my phone today. I looked at it like
And they my age.
with means, with lots of means. And I say this dealing with finance, and I've shared this before.
Much more mean
Yeah,
to me.
I,
Yeah.
I shared this before, and I'll share it again. And I continue to share because this can help somebody. When I was married, I always say that I was the original housewife of Nashville. I quit a job as a as an instructional design project manager slash facilitator for Chrysler, making great money. I quit, moved to Nashville. My husband said he gonna take care of me. Baby, you ain't got to work. I got this. I'm like, I got, it was cute. I was young. It was cute, and I had been working, so it felt good. And really, I wanted to figure out how to be a wife. I wanted to see what that felt like. I wanted to clean the house. I wanted to cook his food. I wanted to do those things. But I also wanted to continue the lifestyle that I lived when I was making my own money, traveling, shopping, traveling, shopping, traveling. You can do a lot on your own income. And then there's two people that and somebody had put in, it says selfishness is what destroys marriages. That is so true.
Yeah.
Connie said that. Selfishness destroys marriage because you have to really transition your mindset from I and me to us and we. You have to go away from I, me, and what I want, what I need, and I want to buy this, and I want no. It's no longer about you. It's about us and we. And it hit me like a ton of bricks because I was still. I'm a housewife, but I'm traveling. I'm shopping. I'm doing all of this, and then it hit me one day. Yeah, he could afford it, and yeah, he covered it. But just imagine what life would be like if you added your bread to the pot. If you put your pig in the pot, if you put your black eyed peas in the pot, see how many people we could feed off of that, you know? And so I decided to go back to work and life was good. And this is why I understand about finances, about it's one pot that takes care of all of this. So many times people watch too much TV. They watch the Housewives of Atlanta, the Housewives of Potomac, the Housewives of Beverly Hills, and Love and Hip Hop and all of that. And they get caught up in the fallacy of what they think marriage is.
Mm.
This is craziness. I had fabric softener in my shirt. Don't y'all look at that. Here it is right here. It's clean. I'm like, what is this? I'm sorry. I had a moment. Fabric softener. We're not staticky. So I say this to say, ladies, we have to identify and pay attention to our mindset concerning relationship and our approach to the term relationship. Finding out, I say these things, if these things are off whack, it's going to mess up your relationship. If you don't have these things in order, the relationship is over. And y'all talk to me, married couple, because y'all still married. Finances,
Yes.
communication,
Yes.
sex.
Yes.
You messed them one of them up.
You're done. You're done. You're done. Let me go back to what you said, Lola. You said that they have to make that adjustment when they get married, but you don't make it when you get married.
You had to make it before. Yeah.
No. Yeah, you're right. But you got to get in your mind. See, right now, I know I ain't ready because I ain't made that. I'd have to meet somebody first and then say, okay, this is the person that I want to be with. So now I'm gonna have to make some adjustment about that remote and CNN and my 3 phones and all that.
8 years. I'm
You say
sorry.
what? You say what?
Somebody had said how long they've been married. 8 years. I
Oh,
was answering questions in the
yeah.
comments.
But they've been together how long?
13 was it? No, 13?
Almost
15?
15. Almost
Almost 15.
Right. So you got to get yourself together mentally before because I remember Swift said last week, see, you don't think I'd be paying attention, that there was a 5-year gap between his divorce, right? 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I did a lot of stuff this week, and I remember that there was a 5-year gap because I was like, what? After you done got divorced, you didn't go and grab her? But it was a 5-year divorce, and he said, and I'm paraphrasing, he needed to get some stuff together. He had to get him together and some other stuff. Just because you divorced and available don't mean you're ready to grab her and tag her.
Say that one more time. Just
don't
because
remember.
you what?
Just
Just
because
because you're divorced and available don't mean you're
ready
ready.
to grab her and tag her. Yeah, no, even
You
if
have
you
to
know,
be ready.
even if you know that she's the right one, if it's really the right one and they willing to put in that time, they will wait until you finish doing what you need to do.
And I think from experience, waiting was the best thing. Jumping right into another marriage right after that, I've seen people do it and it doesn't work. I've had friends who've been married, and I predicted like that's not gonna work. And it's like, just be happy for me. But it's fake. And I know, and because I want you to be happy, I want you to be who you are. Like one thing that
I ain't gonna be fake because you fake.
right. I like
It's fake.
when you meet someone, I have to say this to any lady that's on here that may be able to what's the word I'm looking for? Be able to connect to this type of person. Don't be someone for him just to be with him, because you'll lose yourself and you won't be happy. You'll have that person wanting to be with you, but they're not really wanting to be with you. They're wanting to be with themselves because you're trying to be everything that he wants you to be, or you think he wants you to be, when he really probably just wants you to be yourself. I've had friends do that.
Mhm.
Question for you too, because both of you, you're in entertainment.
Yeah.
How were you able to be true to who you are, keep yourself, and still formulate a bond that worked for you? Because, like you said, TT, you just said women do it more so than men, where we get lost in the relationship. We get lost in our mates, where we put our dreams on hold, running up behind him, wanting to be all. But how were you guys able to manage the independence of your respective careers?
That's a good question.
For me, I was able to be me
Yeah.
when I met him. I didn't have to suppress my skills, my abilities. I was able to shine, and he always supported. He like, go do you, be you. Me, for him being an artist, I understand when he on that stage, he whatever he gonna be to anybody out there, okay?
Yeah.
I've been in places and people like, oh my God, could you sign my breast? I'm like, and he'll look right over at me, and I'll be like this. Go ahead. You need a Sharpie? What do you need? You know what I'm saying? Do you? That's your career. That's what you do. I knew that when I met you. I'm not insecure about it.
Yeah.
You know, it's important that he knew and he knows that who he is who he is. I'm not here to be a shade or be a tree that's blocking that sun. I expect him to shine, and I'm not gonna lose no shine by pushing him into the sunshine more.
Yeah. And
That's go ahead,
no,
Swift. Go ahead, Swift.
I was just gonna piggyback off of her and just, like I said, go back to the spiritual aspect of things. I was just being myself, and who she was just helped enhance whoever I was already. It wasn't a thing to where I felt bashful or I couldn't perform the way I used to because I felt she was gonna feel a certain way if I did this. We just kind of was that light for each other and enhanced who we were already. Being around each other, and that's what made things so special and so great because of that fact. So
A while ago, I had asked. We had a poll or saying. I'm going to read this to you, and I want to get you guys' opinion on what this is. It says you, and this Swift. This is for man. You must be above your wife with these three things: age, knowledge, and cash. What's your input on that?
must be above your wife for those three things.
Age, knowledge, and cash. Do you agree or disagree?
Oh, I was just gonna ask you, was this like a true or false thing? I don't agree.
Okay. Okay. Tell me why you don't agree.
Because I mean, when you say age, that this because you're old, older, the younger person can have more wisdom. I mean, cash doesn't make you. And what's the third one?
Knowledge.
Um, you know, knowledge is to be shared. you know, is to be shared. You're supposed to learn from each other anyway. So I can learn something from someone younger than me. you know, uh, money doesn't make you happy, doesn't bring happiness.
That's right.
You know, and just because you're older doesn't mean that you have more wisdom than the person younger than you. You know.
Okay. TT, this is for you. Your wife too must be above you with these five things: patience, neatness, love, planning, and prayer. Let me say those five one more time. You must be above your husband with these 5 things.
No way.
Patience.
No.
It's patience, neatness, love, planning, and prayer. What do you think about those 5?
Patience. It's a two-way street. We both have to have that neatness. Yeah, I like stuff neat, and so I used to be like, sir, are you gonna put that top over there? I used to just, I would use my wittiness to be like, so I'm gonna need you to, but I think we both need to be neat. I ain't saying we gotta be like, oh, don't move it out of this place, but I don't want to be with a slob. I know, can't, won't, and I thank God that he's not. Love, oh my God, no. But I don't mind. I always said this. This is funny that you said that. I always told him that I love him more than I love him more than he loves me. And he'll be like, impossible. I'm like, no, I love you more. And he's like, no, you can't. And I'm like, no. And so that's an argument between the two of us. Like, who loves who more? Planning. I like to do certain things. He's one of those, which one to do? Let's go. You make the plans, let's do it. Whatever it is, make it happen. Just say it. Tell me what I need to do, where I need to be, or how much you need, or whatever to help this manifest. But he's learned that I too like surprises and spontaneous things and things. So he's learned to be a planner. I'm so thankful for him. He's thrown me some amazing surprise parties and things like that. One that I thought he was setting me up, and I thought I was gonna have to shoot him. And so, yeah, it was almost bad. TT would have been like behind the bars probably. And then the prayer. One thing, my husband prays for me. Sometimes I'll wake up, like if I'm not feeling well, I'll wake up and his hands are on me, but he's praying for me.
I
So
love it.
yeah, he covers me and I cover him. I can just know, I can sense his energy when something's wrong, and I can say, everything okay? Yeah, I'm good. I know him. I made it my business to learn his spirit. So I know when I need to go in. I know when I need to call some prayer warriors, and we need to go and stand in that gap, and I'm not going to cease until I see change.
Yeah. Okay. Now, these next 3 things, this is for the both of you.
Okay.
You should be equal in understanding, tolerance, and respect. Between the 2 of you, who's the most understanding?
Swift.
Okay.
Swift is the most understanding.
Who's the most tolerant?
Swift. I'm keeping it 1,000. Okay.
And I think I know the answer to this one. Who shows the most respect? I think that's equal because I've seen it. I've witnessed it. I've admired it.
Thank you.
Honored and respected it myself. So this is why you guys are here. I don't believe in bringing fake people amongst the people to talk about fake relationships, because what I do realize, and I can say that because I've been there before, marriage is hard. Marriage is very hard. Every day not a rosy day, but you guys make it look easy, and you make it look fun, and you make it look like it's something you want to be a part of. Like, you know what? I will do that. I will do that. I want to do that. I want one of them. I want to vote. That's what if you ever get an opportunity, and it's some people on here that know them, and for the people that know them personally, honey, I want you to just put in the comments, echo what I'm saying. Like, there are couples out here that when you see them, you be like, yeah, like you cheer for them. You cheer it on. I appreciate what you guys share because it's almost rare these days. It's almost rare because a lot of people like each other.
I think one key word that we embraced in our marriage, is the word grace.
Yes, come on now.
We've learned to give each other grace, and and that is one of the main factors that help balance us out. Grace. Give each other grace is one of the key factors in a balanced relationship.
Let me ask you a question. So we're in the midst of a pandemic. The scale for us have changed. Life has changed, right? Put your mask on. That's right. Life has changed.
Really.
The ability to go out on the road for you, Swift, has slowed tremendously. TT, how your ability to work both sides of your equation, the way we work is different.
Yes.
The pandemic itself has affected us in a lot of different ways.
Mhm.
How have the two of you been able to maintain the sincerity, the peace, the wholeness, the respect, and not the respect, but how have you been able to really deal with what's happening in the world and its effect on your household? How has that been?
We communicate. We communicate a lot. We talk a lot, and we build strong understandings about how we feel, things, what should we do, what should take place, what we don't think should take place. We might agree that we disagree about certain things, but the communication factor is a big thing. So, we support each other through it all, even after the conversations are over, on the things that we have to do and need to do, like, her working at home, and me not traveling anymore because of this. And communication is the biggest thing. We learn how to talk to each other, and we have a strong understanding of what we need to do before we go out and do our thing. So when we're around each other, we just respect each other's way of having to do things. Especially when it comes to her working, and me watching over our little one, and vice versa. And things just, tend to move pretty smooth because of the communication. We stay talking, and that's one thing that we do. We communicate well.
And then the other part, to tag on to that, the way we do things has slowed down due to the pandemic, but it didn't stop us.
Right.
Through the pandemic, I birthed a podcast show.
Mm-hmm.
Swift has finished two projects. He's working on a third. We respect each other's time. Like when I'm doing my podcast show, I'm like, yo, I need the space for this podcast. Okay, bet. He'll say, hey, I'm about to go record. Okay, bet. And so it's like, I know I even made a cute little sign outside. There's 2 doors that lead into the room. And it's like, yo, if this sign is up, that means your daddy's recorded or I'm on my podcast show, And so we understand. We have on our refrigerator a chart. It's like a calendar. It's 7 days. And to make sure we know, because although we're in a pandemic, we still have to do things outside. And so we have to be mindful of our schedules.
Right.
And so, yo, I have to do this. He'll say, I got a studio, I got a video, I got a this. I'm like, oh, I got to go work on this. I got to do. So it's like, we write it. And it's like, and even our 10-year-old stuff, and he got karate, he got this. And it's like, oh, he still virtually got karate, he got this. So some people say, well, dang, how y'all, it's driving some people crazy to have been at home all this time, almost 9 months, and in the same house, seeing the same person every single day. Well, it's just like having, I enjoy when I go to work in the morning, when I was going into the brick and mortar, giving the kids, see you later, talk to you. We talked about the day, but I get up in the morning, and if he gets up before me, he'll make breakfast for, Cody, myself, him, if he decides, or he'll get up, I'll be in here getting ready to work, and he'll bring me some coffee, and it's like, although I've been up, it's just like, wow. And he'll go right on back upstairs to do whatever he's doing. So it's like it really, I want to say it didn't change. It just made me realize how much I can stand and appreciate and love being in the same space for almost 24 hours a day. If I had to, it was good. It was like, okay, we spend more time. We now, because he can't jet set in this, right now. we've bonded more, making family night, game night, making it possible because we're here versus we got to write it in, pencil it in. We even make date night. Okay, we have an 18-year-old that lives here. Before he went off to college, it'll be like, yo, okay, look, get what y'all need. Y'all need to go upstairs. We're about to have date night. They got their snacks, they got their stuff, they got their games, and we ain't got the music. We got to look. Man, where you? We felt like we was bakers. We was at bakers, like doing our thing. And so we set the atmosphere. And so, like me and him, we go prior to the pandemic, and people always say this: when you be around us in our presence, we acknowledge people because we love people, but we so into ourselves, and we're comedians on our own to ourselves. We think we the funniest thing alive, right? So we go in and out, and it's like having your bestie spend the night every day, right? So, and then get to hang out with them, and we have fun. When we got to deal with things that's like, oh, we've learned over our journey how to navigate through that thing. And I just thank God that we have the friendship that supersedes everything else. And it makes everything else. You said something a few minutes ago. You said marriage is hard work. I used to think that. We used to always say marriage is hard work. But when people say what you said, y'all make it look easy. And we be thinking to ourselves, what the hell we be doing to make it look, I'm sorry, Pastor. Oh,
no, you're good. You're good. You're good.
I'm a work in progress.
You're good. Hell is a place that you'll go. Here, let me help you out. Hell is a place you'll go if you don't get your life right. Damn is a word to hold back all the other words that we could be saying, but we just not saying. So those are Christian approved words. Go forth and let the Lord use you. Go ahead.
Boom and boom. And so it's just, when you look at it, it's kind of like where we are, work, it's like everyday living. You don't think about I gotta breathe. You just do it. And so in our marriage, we just do it. I believe because that energy, that thing we talk about so much, it's a natural thing that makes me want to just pour into him, love him, and serve him. And I think it goes back. It's reciprocated, it's appreciated. I don't underestimate him, and I don't take his kindness for weakness. I don't take it for granted. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you.
Well, thanks, babe. Yeah, right.
Okay, so the last question of the night, and I want you guys to think about this answer. So when it comes to the love languages, I would like for you guys to tell me what is your love language and why. So let me give them to you just in case. The first one is words of affirmation. Affirming. Number 2 is quality time. Number 3 is acts of service. Number 4 is gifts. And number 5 is physical touch. Which one is your love language? Again, number 1, words of affirmation. Number 2, quality time. Number 3, acts of service. Number 4, gifts. Or 5, physical touch, that touch.
I think my love language would be number 5.
It is. No, we know this one. That's why we feel like we're cheating, because it's one of the, we taught this in our marriage ministry class, and we have a book on the 5 love languages. And so, yeah, his is definitely physical. We've come to establish that. Yes.
That's what you call a healthy relationship.
And mine is acts of service and quality time. So I had 2 of that. When we were teaching the class, I'm like, I got 2. So they're like, you always gotta be extra. So acts of service, I love when he does things for me. That like, wow. If I was at work and he like, you good? I'm like, damn, my back is hurting. I'll come home. He'll be like, well, let me know when you're on your way home, if you're gonna stop off or whatever. And I'm like, oh no, I ain't stopping off. I'm gonna come straight in. I'll come in, and he'd be like, you should go and probably take a bath. I'm like, you know what, I am. I'm about to go put some Epsom salt, and I'll go upstairs, and he had already done it. He got my little candles lit because I likes that. And so I'm like, come through. Okay, come on. Yeah, so it's like the acts of service. Unexpected lunch, when I used to be in the brick and mortar, for no reason, flowers. Now in the beginning, when I first started getting flowers or stuff, I'd be like, what he did? Because what you bringing me flowers for? And my coworkers were like, girl, where's my husband? Let me call my husband. I got this one coworker, shout out to Cindy. She was like, I'm about to call Mr. Brown. Where my flowers at? Andrea bought Teresa some flowers up here for no reason. Just for no reason. Like, where my flowers? And her was like, well, when you die, I'm going to get you all the flowers you want. Like, it's just crazy. But it's just those little things. It's the little things, the acts of service. And then I love spending time with them. Whether that's a vacation, we'll jump on the train when we could. We jump on the train, go to Chicago for the day, and come on back. And so, like, have dinner, do some shopping, or hang out, and come on back. And I'm like, dang, we just be like, let's just do it. So yeah, those things make me happy and excited.
What about you, Swift?
You talking about as far as love language?
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 5. And
he said I didn't stutter on that one.
I like gifts as well.
Yeah,
I like gifts as well. She actually threw me my first party I ever had in my life, and that's just just blew my mind. And I didn't even really realize. I mean, I like gifts. I don't ask for much, but that could be another one of mine as well. Yeah. I'm really appreciative of the things she give me, or she might come in. I don't care if it's a box of Raisinets. I'm like, so yeah.
Your baby got them for you. She gave me these Raisinets, so they fine. So you guys have been married 8 years together, roughly about 15 years. Every week we get on here and we talk about love, life, and relationships. We talk about the elements of a successful relationship. And as the weeks go on, we have hundreds of people that watch and view, and they seek guidance and they seek help, and they're looking for direction. And it's one thing to take the perspective from 2 single people that's been married and divorced, and we speak from a perspective of, if I was married, I would correct the behavior that I did in this area, that area. I think it's always a good perspective to have both sides of the coin, because we can speak from the perspective of what you shouldn't do and what we could do differently to be better in the current situation. You guys are actively living it. What advice do you give to the person that's looking to be married, that desires to be married, that wants to be married, and they're struggling with finding a mate, they're struggling with dealing with self and some of the imperfections that we need to work on, because as Swift, as you've indicated, that you had to take time to work on yourself before you made the decision to get married again. What are some of the key elements or advice that you would give to the people that's listening on preparation for the day that they say, I do?
I think it's very important to find out if you guys, if the couple is equally yoked. Being equally yoked is very, very important. Be patient enough to build that friendship factor. Build that friendship factor first, because that's a very, very key element to a great marriage. Because a lot of couples don't have that friendship factor, and they get married, and then it's things they may want to talk about or vent, and they find out they have to go outside the house to vent to other people about, and they have this certain fear of, I don't know what she might think or might say if I say this or mention this. But if it was your best friend, you wouldn't have that problem. You just go right on in. So I think that's a very, very, very important element to having a great marriage. Make sure you guys are equally yoked in spirit, and just develop that friendship first and that understanding of that before you get into the meat and potatoes of the relationship, not the other way around. Communication. Make sure you communicate, be an open book. You know, even if it might ruffle feathers. I mean, you know, you're not gonna go in and say anything disrespectful or anything, but communication needs to be there, even if you don't agree. You know, and just disagree that you disagree and keep it moving. You know, but the communication has to be there, and just always be mindful. Be mindful to the point to where, like, if Miss TT eats a burger and I leave the house and I still want to get something to eat, even though I knew she ate, I'ma still call and ask if she wants something to eat. So you got to put that person first, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? You got to be mindful of that person, no matter what situation. You know what I'm saying? So those are very key elements, in my opinion. Might be missing some other ones, but
I think you were dead
yeah.
on. I have to agree. Communication is everything. Um, Loving yourself. I was just having a conversation with our 10-year-old that before you can love anybody, you have to love yourself. You know what makes you happy. You have to know what makes you happy. Another human being is not responsible for your happiness. And you can't expect and put that on someone else. You have to be able to make yourself happy before you can make anybody else happy.
Right.
The communication, like I said, you can't have a successful relationship without being communicative. And so sometimes that's going to take you to have some hard conversations, some tough conversations, like you said, that might ruffle your feathers. But for us, we adopted an idea from one of my sister-in-laws. Shout out to Sydney. And so we have these ducks. And so if there's something like if like, okay, because we have our children in the house, people could be over, whatever the case may be. We have these nice ducks I found, and they always are side by side and they're always looking ahead. But if one of the ducks is turned, and we know whose duck is whose, that means that person wants to talk about something. If that duck is laying on its side, that person wants to spend some time. Like, we need some quality time. We need some us time.
Mhm.
So when I come downstairs, I'm always looking at the table with the ducks, like, let me see, let's see, And so I'm like, oh, or something. But yeah, I keep, and I don't want to sound redundant, but loving yourself. I have too many girlfriends I've had that got married more than once, looking for love because they didn't realize, like, first of all, you are enough for who you are. You are enough. Be enough for yourself before you can think you enough for someone else. And don't look for it. It's gonna find you. I wasn't looking for him. Yeah, I wasn't looking for him. And I didn't know what I stumbled upon either at the same time, but I knew when I knew, like Bishop said, and you'll know when you know that you know. And you can't even really explain it. It's like, I can't even, I don't know, you just know.
Mm-hmm.
Like people say, you believe in your scenario. Okay, deep down in that, in the root of it, baby. But it's just like, if you believe in, if you believe, then you believe in what you don't see. I used to tell him that I felt I knew him so much by his touch. Like, we used to have code words when he would be overseas, because sometimes he would have to call me from different numbers and I won't be answering numbers like right. And so he'd be like, well, I was calling you and you ain't. I'm like, I didn't know that number. That didn't make no sense, that number. I didn't even know that was a number. Like, I knew what that was. So he says, well, we got to come up with a code. And so he called and I really couldn't make out what he was saying. And I'm like, who is this? He was like, this nachos. With code word. I was like, oh, hey. So I'm like, oh, what's up, nachos? So it's like, just little things. But that goes back to that communication piece. Love yourself. Be open, like he said, that communication piece. And don't be in a hurry. I know a lot of people say, my clock ticking. All right. Well, don't let it turn into a bomb. You know what I mean? Wait. Just wait. Because what's for you is for you. And it ain't going to go anywhere if it's for you. When we rush, we find ourselves back at that same place, almost like that scene in Nightmare on Elm Street when they rolled around, and you're like, whoa, wait, wait. Didn't we already come here? We already been here. You want something different, ladies and gentlemen, who are or have been in relationships, and you're like, I'm looking for the next thing. Do something different. Be something different. And start out by being yourself.
All right. Bishop is getting ready to close it out. Gregory Michael, take us on home.
You want me to close it out? You can close it out.
Well,
no, this is this was good. Seriously, I'm honored to have the two of you, and this was a great idea because we've always had singles on, and we always have people asking, "Where are the married couples? Where are the married couples?" And so you all are a great example of you had a struggle to get there, you had ups and downs to get there, but you made it. And some people don't understand the beginning, but who cares? You'll probably last a lot longer than most folk that had a pretty start. So really appreciate you all in your contribution.
We would love to come back anytime.
I think we should have some married couples on too.
I want to make sure that everyone knows that Swift has a new single. Swifty McVay has a new single out. Can you please tell them your single?
Yes, thank you. It is called Welcome to Detroit, featuring Alita Henderson. The video is on my Vivo channel. So just type Swifty on the YouTube. You'll be able to see the video. The LP is called Detroit Life. Just dropped November 27th. And you can go to DetroitLifeGear.com if you want to get some Detroit Life gear. I got the t-shirts, we got the hoodies, we got the hats, and there's a mask and other things, other apparel on there that you may like to camouflage different colors or whatnot. So yeah, my Instagram is McVayD12. That is MCVAYD12. Same with the Twitter. And if you want to holler at me on the Facebook, just go to Swifty D12.
How much are the t-shirts?
Say it again.
How much are the t-shirts?
This t-shirt is $30. The hoodies are $60. The hats are $35.
All right. And what's your Cash App for, or how do they pay for the t-shirt? As I'm ordering mine right now. That's really what I'm asking.
Oh yeah, there you go. Much love, much love. The Cash App is McVayD12. MCVAYD12.
MCVAYD12.
Yep.
50 McVay.
Thank you, Lola. Much love.
Yes.
I'm gonna get one too. Yeah, I wear anything that got Detroit on it.
You're gonna make me adjust my prices. We'll talk about mine later. TT, what you got coming, sis?
Well, I have my podcast show, TT from the D, and it's on anchor.fm /TT from the D. You can also check it out on Spotify. And I air every Monday and Thursday at 7 p.m. I just launched also TT Consultant Services, where I do a lot of things. I wear many hats. And so I provide a lot of consultation, but I also come in and help you get the job done. You got a vision, I can help get it done.
Let me tell you how I met TT. Story time as we close out. Last year, I had fallen and fractured my foot. And for those of you that follow me and know me, you know, Greg and I, we have a friend named Beth. And Beth was, she was on The Voice 2 seasons ago. And so she had a bunch of shows, and that's my sister. That's my right hand. TT and I, we both believe in serving and helping our people, right?
Yes.
And so I couldn't attend a few different events because I'm in a boot. I couldn't walk. My foot was jacked up. It was just all bad. And then when I was finally able to get on my feet and get back with the team, because we have a team and TT is actually part of the team, that's when I met TT. And she had the most amazing spirit. And what I love about people like TT, and what I love about real queens, when you see another queen, you're never intimidated. You open your arms and you welcome it, and you be like, let's rock out and let's just work. And she just had an amazing energy to herself. She really had a spirit to serve and help. And now I'm gonna tell a funny story. So my joke is, I got my daddy's arms. I always say I got my daddy's arms. It was a hot summer day in Detroit, and I couldn't remember if I put on deodorant or not. So we in the camper, and I'm like, what I ain't gonna never be is out in these streets musty. And I was like, oh, y'all get some deodorant. Titi, did you go to the store, or did
I did.
he went to the store and got me some deodorant to make sure that I wasn't musty? Like, she could have been like, and this is her first day meeting me. TT could have been like, her tail just gonna be over there hot and musty because I ain't going to the store. But I'm just saying, that's the type of person she is. She really, 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 really is a person that's willing to serve and help. But she brings value to the team, man. She adds tremendous value to the team. So if you're in the metropolitan Detroit area and you need some guidance, directions on production and different things like that, definitely look her up because she will hold you down and get the business handled. That's a fact. Anybody that'll go to the store and buy you some deodorant.
Oh Lord! Oh, you froze, Lola. I can't.
Right in a minute. They ask you to repeat the information.
Oh, for the store. Oh, Detroit Life Gear. If you want some gear, it's DetroitLifeGear.com, and you can get the t-shirts. I think 30. The hats $35, and the hoodie sweatshirts are $60. And the Instagram is McVady12. That is MCVAYD12. The same as the Twitter. And if you want to holler at me on the Facebook, you can go to SwiftyD12. Yeah.
All right. Thank y'all so much. And we're gonna close because she done froze and then
we love you, Lola.
Right. Love y'all so much. I appreciate y'all.
We appreciate
Thank you so much for having us.
No problem. Y'all go follow them. Good night, y'all.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Salute.